All right, I'm back. Back inside the bedroom closet. Please don't try to share the screen with me. I'm really new on TikTok, don't know how to do that too well. Right now, I do educational for the first 15 or 20 minutes, and then I like to take questions. So I don't like to accept the screen shares, and I apologize for that for right now. I will later on in the future, but allow me to do my educational first for those who are joining in for educational reasons, because I do talk sex as it relates to love, relationships, and health. And I want it to be educational for you. So if you have any questions for me, I can definitely answer those toward the end of the live. But thank you guys for coming in. Come on in to the bedroom closet. Hello, thank you for joining. Viper 5804 has joined. Make sure you share with your friends so that they can join as well. As I mentioned, I like to go over a few things that I discussed last week, and it was a relationship to men's sexual health because Father's Day was last week. And we discussed the testosterone levels, and you need to get that checked so you can make sure that you have a healthy sexual appetite for as long as you can. You want to make sure that your your pelvic floor is tight, and that way your penis will be able to be erect when you need it to be and perform when you need it to be. I like to use my words a little wisely because you know they'll shut you down on TikTok, and I like to keep coming to you with more information. So tonight we're talking about erogenous zones, and as always I take notes because I want to make sure that I give you all the information that I have. And then I want to introduce a product for the ladies that could definitely be a benefit for you. So we're going to go over that. But with erogenous zones, just like everybody's different. God didn't make anybody the same if you believe that God made everybody. You're tall, you're short, you're large, you're thin, everybody's made up different. So everybody's erogenous zones are different, but some of them are similar. The one thing I say is that you may not remember everything that a person said to you, but you'll definitely remember the way they made you feel, especially if they made you feel good. If you had great sex with someone, that's something that you remember. That's not something that you hardly forget. If that one somebody was able to reach your erogenous zones and hit the right spot and know what to do and how long to do it, then you don't forget people like that, because that actually enhanced the way that you felt as a person. So with everything else, erogenous zones are sometimes undiscovered. Everybody does not have an orgasm, and everyone does not allow their erogenous zones to be discovered. The zones that are normal, such as your neck. When someone kisses you on the neck, how it gives you that warm and tingling feeling. Sometimes you're kissed on the ears and around the earlobe, on your cheek. Just kissing naturally is sensual. If you're using a lot of tongue and it's wet and it's sensual and you can feel the heat evaporating from someone else's mouth. Some people like for their eyes, their forehead to be kissed. People may be into pulling hair. That's hot. Or rubbing and massaging the scalp of a man. They may need that to help release that tension and that blood flow that's going from one head to the other. So you want to pay attention to different areas on different people, because women always say that you can't touch me the same way you touched the other person, because everybody's areas are different. So, for example, some women and some men are turned on by their breast area. The breast area has the areola and the nipple there that could be extremely sensitive. So that's on both men and women. But every man and every woman is not turned on in that area. So that's why you have to know the person that you're being intimate with, so that way you know where their zones are. And feel comfortable with the person that you're being intimate enough with to share it. And some of the other reasons why those areas are undiscovered is because people have inhibitions. They're inhibited about certain things. For example, if you know that it feels really good if someone kisses you on your arm, and the further that they get under the arm, where there are erogenous zones under the armpit, You may feel a little embarrassed or shy for someone to kiss you there or lick you there or suck you there because you don't know how that's going to make you feel. But once they do it and it feels great, then that's something that you may be open to telling the next partner if there is a next partner. So, with that being said, we know that as you go down a little bit further, there are erogenous zones on your back area, up toward the nape of your neck area and the lower back area, right below the pelvic bone. So right in that lower back area, you do have erogenous zones there. All along your sides in that area, you have some erogenous zones there. Of course, as you go down a little bit further, some people enjoy their buttocks being massaged. Yeah. Bitten, licked, kissed, all that. So there are erogenous zones in the buttocks for some people, especially as you go toward the anus. That A spot is there for those who enjoy being pleasured in that area. Not so much as being an insertion, but it could be licking, kissing, rubbing, touching, all that in that area. Because as you go down, both males and females have what's called a perineum. And that's that area in between the vagina on a female and the anus, and on the male between the testes and the anus. That little area there is known to be sensitive on both males and females. So while we're talking genitalia, of course, you know the genitalia is the area where centralized arousal takes place. We'll say it like that. So on the female, you know, you have the lower stomach area. That's very sensitive under the navel area, around the navel area. As you go down, you have the pubic mound. That's a sensitive area to rub, touch, massage, kiss even, you know. And as you go down, you have the clitoris. And I'll say it again for those who've never heard me say it. The clitoris is made for pleasure only. That's the only reason why you have it. So that should be an erogenous zone for you when it's caressed and touched properly. And how do I know what properly is? I don't. You do. So you have to tell the person that's down there what properly is. So whether that means pressure, whether that means moisture, whether that means licking, kissing, sucking, what that means to you is the erogenous part of it. Then you get down to the labias, the majora, which are the outer lips of the vagina, and the minora, which are the inner ones. Maybe you like those licked or kissed or touched or pulled or tugged or bitten. Yeah, so all that's very sensual in that area. And then on the males, you have the right in front of the perineum are the testicles. And that's where a lot of the action happens for men, because the testicles is where the sperm, the testosterone and everything is generated. So when you are massaging the testes and maybe licking or kissing the testes, that's an erogenous zone. You have the penis itself. And if you start with the head, which is called the glans, the head of the penis, as you go down, as we mentioned last week, we talked about it. Below the penis is the coronal ridge. Right under the underside, a little triangular shaped piece of skin there. It's called the frenulum. That's very sensitive. Then you have the deep dorsal vein, you know, and that vein becomes engorged because of the blood flow. So, of course, that may become an erogenous zone for you to pay attention to. So, of course, the genitalia is an area for you to focus on. Now, you say, well, what else could there be? There could be a lot of things that you only know. There could be the palm of the wrist, the inner part of your wrist, very sensitive area here. The palms of your hand. You know, when you hold hands and you're squeezing and you're touching, that's very sensual. If you're kissing the palm of your hand and lick it, the fingers, licking the fingers ever so slightly. Yeah. Whether that's on a male or a female, they could be very sensual and a turn on. Then you can get to the legs and thighs. And the one thing for you to take note of is the thigh area. The inner thigh is very sensitive to Ladies, men, if you have whiskers, rub them on that little area. That could be a little tingly, tickling, yet sensation. And then on women, with women, for the guys or on another female or however you choose to do that, the kissing on the inside of the thigh, on the back of the knee, the calf area, on down to the ankle. And what about those feet? We know that feet could be very sensual, right? Even your toes. So if you are sucking the toes, rubbing the toes, or inserting the toes in certain places, that could be very sensuous and erotic. So you want to take advantage of erogenous zones in order to make your sexual life a little bit more exciting. And then you want to have safe words, because no one wants you to stay on one spot way too long, because you don't want to kill the spot. You want to keep it alive. And if you're focusing on the fact that you're on a spot that feels real good, stay there long enough to draw back from it so that they can tell you that they want more. That's the one thing that you want. You want to hear someone say, keep it right there, stay right there, I want it right there, I like it right there. You have to say those words in order for your partner to know that you're turned on by what they're doing. Because erogenous zones, like I said, they're different on everyone. And we have to focus on what makes our partner feel good while we're with them. So those are some important things while I'm looking through my notes to make sure that I didn't forget anything, like I said before. And I'll say it again, you may not even remember their name, but you can definitely remember the way they made you feel. If they were able to make you become multiple orgasmic, then that's something that you would remember. If they were able to hit a certain spot and you never told them, they just went for it, that may be someone to remember. Yeah. If it's someone that you can be creative with without any judgment passed on what it is that you like, how creative you like it, and how you want it, that's someone to be creative with. But like I said, you want to have a safe word. It could be anything. Tuna fish, glasses, I don't care. Just have a safe word to have them come up from that spot, so that you won't lose the sensation, so that you won't lose the eroticism of it all. So that's my lesson for tonight. I wanted to talk to you about erogenous zones and making sure that you focus on places on your partner. And if there's places that you really want to be touched and you never said anything. I think I put a video clip up, and it's an exercise that I think everyone should do. You pay attention to the spots where your lover touches you. First, second, and third. But is that where you want to be touched? First, second, and third? If not, do you have the courage to tell them, not there, but right there? Then that's the start of having a great session sexually, because whatever you say, communication will get you where you need to be. So whatever you say it for your own good. It's going to get you where you want. And that's the one thing in relationships where people fail is communication about their sex life if they're not satisfied. And some people don't know. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you. And this is information that I like to share inside the bedroom closet, because maybe it'll pique your interest about a conversation tonight while you're having your pillow talk. If there's a certain spot where you want to be caressed or massaged, see if your partner will take care of you. And after a while, they'll know that that's something that turns you on, and you're able to go from one point to the next. So hopefully that was something that was helpful. Let's see if you have any questions. Yep, it's always good to know new ways to please your partner as well as yourself, because you can always have just have you ever had just a foreplay session where you don't get into the sex? It gets so hot and heavy that you want to get into it and you draw yourself back from it. That's hot, because you want to make sure that you're touching each other in places where you want to be touched. And that's a part of the tantric sex that I talked about before. If you're a person that's into massaging and meditation and things of that nature, tantric sex is maybe something that you want to look up, because it gives you a little bit more involved into the senses and the erogenous zones. Now, one tip that I gave, I believe, a viewer last week, because don't forget, I like your questions. On Tuesday, I do answer viewer questions, so I want to make sure that I answer your questions. But last week, I explained to the young lady that you can have an orgasm, and women, even myself, because I'm a woman, we allow our minds to wander. And when we allow our minds to wander, you don't stay in the moment. And when you're not in the moment, you lose all the juiciness, the juicy goodness that you're able to get. So you have to stop your mind from wandering. Put a blindfold on, take away that sense, and that comes with trust. You want to trust the person that you're with to have that blindfold on, and they'll do exactly what it is that you would like for yourself to be pleased. And it would please them to do it to you. I'm pretty sure it would. So before I let you go, and I am promoting a product, and it's called the Magical Kitty Cat. Yep, the Magical Kitty Cat, and I'll make sure that I take a picture and put this on my TikTok and some information. But the Magical Kitty Cat is a libido enhancer for women. Now, in the Western world, we like everything wet. Whether you're giving oral sex or whether you're having anal sex or vaginal sex, you like it wet. That's why we use lube and different things of that nature. But you would like for natural moisture to take place. If there's any dryness, if there's any vaginal itching or burning from vaginal dryness, not from other things, but from vaginal dryness, or if you are with a partner that's seemingly large and you're not as moist as you want to be down there, that can cause some type of chaffing or burning or things like that. Well, with the Magical Kitty Cat, I looked it up and I researched the product for you. It's a young lady in Virginia that's offering the product out of The Goddess Shop. It's the_Goddess Shop, if you'd like to look it up. And what's in it is two definitely active ingredients that is not harmful to the body, which is maca root. And maca root is high in vitamin B. Let me see, I wrote everything down because I wanted to make sure that I gave you all the correct information about the Magical Kitty Cat. And with the Magical Kitty Cat is vitamin B1, magnesium, zinc, iron, all that's included, which is very good for your daily sexual diet. Because remember, I said that zinc is good for your skin, and it's also good for your sexual activity. Magnesium is high in blood flow, so it increases the blood flow to your extremities. So that's all included. It increases your level of intensity, so you're not so tired or fatigued, and you're able to have a little bit better stamina. And also it helps eases those that are going through menopause because of that juicy feeling. Now, that juicy feeling comes from the, let's see, maca root is the one ingredient. Hold on. Let me look up the other one. Because slippery elm, that's what it is. I looked it up. Slippery elm is the other ingredient. And slippery elm, as you know, is from the bark of a tree. And the reason why it's called slippery elm is because if you slice the tree open, the liquid inside of the tree was known for those that were, in ancient times or times when they needed moisture. They would go to the slippery elm in order to get the moisture from there. So with the slippery elm and the maca root, those two active ingredients, it's about 625 milligrams of the maca root and about 100 milligrams of the slippery elm that's included in the Magical Kitty Cat. So I'll tell you how it's going. I took the first dosage today. I'll check back with you on Wednesday, and then I'll check back with you again toward the end of the week to let you know what's going on. Because you want to make sure that your sessions are nice and juicy. Because the one thing that you want to make sure is that you stay moist and wet so that there will be nothing painful when it comes to sexual activity. So I'm going to decline this for just a minute to see if there are any questions. I see a lot of people are joining. Thank you so much for joining the live. Make sure you guys like, share, and follow. Hello to you all. I thank you so much for being inside my bedroom closet. I definitely enjoy doing the lives on TikTok on Monday night. As I mentioned, I'm influencing a new product for a young lady out of the Goddess Shop. And after the live, I'll post a picture of of the magical kitty cat that includes maca root, if you like to look it up, and slippery elm. So that's included. Tonight we talked about the different erogenous zones, and you want to hone in on your erogenous zones so that you can make sure that you have great sex, because if you're not having great foreplay, it doesn't make for great sex, because you want to be turned on. I don't know, even with a quickie, even before you get to the quickie, something turns you on in order to have the quickie. So if it's the way that that person walked into a room and that turns you on, the smell of the person turns you on, because, our olfactory senses are turned on anyway, because that's what they sell perfume for. And, the number one scent is oud, O-U-D, and and I'm a scentologist. I love the scents. I love perfume. I love everything that's got to do with the senses. So oud is like liquid gold when it comes to the senses, and it's an erogenous arousal scent. So sometimes people wear certain colognes and perfumes that turn you on, so they open up your olfactory senses, and that's erogenous. So there's a lot of erogenous zones, because your sight could be one. The way that their body is shaped and built up could be something that turns you on. Anything that gives you that warm and tingling feeling. So I'm going to stop running my mouth, because I got about another few minutes with the live. Don't know if you guys have any questions, so I'm going to scroll and see if there were any questions. Okay, let's see. Okay. Hello from Chicago to you too. I live close to Chicago. I've got, I was actually in H-Town this past weekend for Juneteenth. I celebrated it in Houston, Texas. It was a blast. I hope everybody enjoyed the clips. Got a few more clips just to show where I was and what I was doing and the beautiful people that I was hanging with in Houston. So I enjoyed that. I love to travel, so I do a lot of traveling, and I'll post where I traveled. People wanted to see some of the things that I did in my pastime, so that's the reason why I posted that. I normally just get on and talk about sex, but if you like to see some of the things that I do in my pastime, I'll definitely have that published for you as well. So are there any questions that I can answer for anyone? Hello to you too. Hopefully you are enjoying the live. Hello from Florida. I visit Florida a great deal. My favorite place in Florida is Panama City Beach. I go there at least once a year. I didn't go when they had the hurricane, but I usually go there for my hiatus. I am a writer. I am trying to get to writing these books. I have a lot of things on my plate right now, so I'm taking some time so that I can get some writing done. And I definitely appreciate you guys following. I appreciate the likes and all of the shares. I know I try to be a little funny on TikTok sometimes, and I appreciate you with your laughs and your jokes. If there are hello from Detroit. I go to Detroit quite often. I'll be in Detroit for the Lions first home game. I do the tailgating there. So that is so much fun. And I do that. I think we didn't do it last year because of the COVID, but we usually do the tailgating. My girlfriends and I, we have a mobile home that we drive up there in and park and have a great time. So hello in Detroit. And if you have any questions, one of my very, very, very close friends live in Detroit. So make sure you join me. Let's see. It says here, I live about 30 minutes from there. Come see us in Port St. Joe. Yeah, I've heard of Port St. Joe and Tampa. Love New Jersey, because when my best friend lived in New York, Went to New Jersey a great deal because she lived in New Jersey and we traveled from New Jersey to New York. Great restaurants. Oh my God, great Italian spots. In that area, the food cannot be beat well, my one good girlfriend works for the airlines, so that's why I travel a lot. We travel to eat. Been to Kansas City, New Orleans. The COVID shut me down a little bit, but I'm back on the road again. So I'll let you know some of my favorite places that I like to visit to eat. You know, I don't weigh a whole lot, but I love great food. So, yeah, so the whole Florida area, I love that. North Carolina, Virginia Beach, you know, all those areas are places that I go on a regular basis. So, let's see. Anything else? Thoughts on Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj is doing her thing. She is who she is. She's living her truth. So any specific question you want me to answer about Nicki Minaj, if it's about her body type, life choices, those are all personal things. So, you know, the one thing about celebrities, the money allowed them to be their authentic selves, right? Because they can actually buy the things and live the lives that they want to. Now, they're not role models for us, and sometimes we vicariously live our lives through some of the celebrities because their life is on the big screen. But be your authentic self, and that's the one thing that I can say that draws people to other people when you're talking about relationships. People that meet people when they don't see you looking and they see you being your authentic selves, that's what they like. Not the person that put on the pretense. We know the makeup, the hair. That's all part of the drag that makes us a woman, makes us look good and feel good. And we do it to attract you. But when all that's said and done, then who we are under all that is what's important. So I like Nicki Minaj. You know, she's hot, like her rhymes, and yeah. So if there's any specific questions about her, I'll definitely answer those. Let's see, Cape San Blas and Mexico Beach. You know what? Yeah, Mexico Beach is a beautiful place. I love the white sand beaches of Panama City. So I have been to Mexico Beach. I love the pier. Also for shopping in Panama City Beach. I love boutiques. I've been to Key West. Love Key West area. There was a place where I used to like to buy hats right there called the Mad Hatter. I don't know if they went out of business, but yeah, I used to like that place a lot too. So love to travel. Thank you so much for the travel questions. Let's see, what did they say? Thoughts on a guy, let's see, thoughts on gay culture like drag and ballroom. I love it. Well, if I've not shared the story with you, I'll share with you now. It's Pride Month. And in one of my clips, I did mention that I had a very good friend, my very best friend to me for 22 years was a gay male. He was my next door neighbor. So when I lived, it was one house in between us. And I came out one day and I had a gentleman caller that had just left my house. And he said, "Oh, you like them tall and dark?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, so do I." I said, "Well, tall, dark, light, short, it doesn't really matter to me." He said, "Me either." So we were besties from that point. And he took me to some of the Chicago drag scenes. I've been to almost every Pride parade with him. We shared some of the best kept secrets between him and I. He taught me a lot, so I love ballroom. I love drag. I've been to a lot of the drag shows in Chicago. Love Chili Pepper. Some of the drag shows that's in Indiana, most of them that's been in Vegas. He and I shared that life together. I didn't make the New York scene at that time with him. Quite a few of his friends dressed in drag. One in particular was my size, my height, so what she didn't wear was passed to me. So yes, thank you for that question. And my first book that I wrote was dedicated to my friends that are of the gay community because they befriended me and they helped me raise my daughters to be wonderful young ladies that accept people for who they are. So yeah, that's important. Yeah, I get around, been a lot of places. Well, look, I'm not a spring chicken. I don't have to say my age, but I travel at least, I try to before the COVID, at least 6 times a year. Basically, like I said, my girlfriend works for the airline, so we just get on a flight and go somewhere for the day, the weekend, the week, you know, things like that. So it's always fun to get out and see how other people live, and eat good food in different places. So I enjoyed the food in Houston this past weekend. I was at Phil and Derek's, and I'll post that after the live and show you where I was eating there. And then I went to another spot, Lucille's. Oh, MG, really good soul food. Really good. So, yeah, those 2 spots I did frequent. And then we went to another spot. They had a place where they have drive-through daiquiris and margaritas in Texas. I didn't know that. So, yeah, we enjoyed that too. So, I have a question. This guy I'm dating is very plain in the bedroom. How do I get him to spice it up? Well, when you say very plain, there's other things that attracted you to him before you got to the bedroom. So you find out some of the things that interest him, some of the things that he liked most, and bring that into the bedroom. Now, what I mean by that is, I had a couple, and she said that he was very in tune with the TV and the computer and this and that, but he had a favorite cartoon. I can't never remember the name of the cartoon, but it was Boris and Natasha. They were Russians, the little Boris with the mustache and Natasha, the long, thin lady. So she walked in the room the one day and she started speaking in Russian, and it just turned him on. So she didn't know that that's what would do it, but she knew that cartoon was something that he enjoyed. So you have to find out what he likes, bring that into the bedroom subtly. You don't want to shock him, you don't want to turn him off, and you don't want to turn him away from anything that could potentially be great. As I mentioned, you may want to find out if he's playing, what's the one area where he enjoys you, and allow him to enjoy you even more, and then in turn you can enjoy him. But you got to find out what he likes outside the bedroom, bring a little bit of it into the bedroom piece by piece, because sometimes he could have some hang-ups about the reasons why he don't do certain things, but he could never have been taught to do certain things. So this is your opportunity to teach him some of the things that you like. If you've never been to a toy store with him, you may want to go to a toy store. He may be too plain for that, so shop online. If he say, what you looking at? Show him what you're looking at on the computer and see if he'll join in with you a little bit. So, yeah. And then sexual games. There's always games that you can play that are at the toy store where you roll the dice and you do certain things and things of that nature. So you want to find some games to play. And that kind of spice things up a little bit. Just trying to see. Yeah, you were devastated in the Florida area after the hurricane, but I know they're rebuilding that area. I used to go to Panama City Beach for the Jazz Fest every April. So I do miss doing that. That was one of the trips that I would take once a year. And then, so yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's a little bit about Erogenous Zones. We answered a few questions. I want your likes, your shares, and your follows. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate that. Any information that you guys need from me, you can always reach me at insidemybedroomcloset@gmail.com. I know I've had some people reach out to me. Please contact me. I can schedule some time to talk to you. All of us have concerns. I've just been the one that took it to a different level and got an education in it where I can help you with your concerns. Premature guys that want to talk about that. Thank you so much for the hearts and the roses. I appreciate it. Love you guys for that. I've talked to some people that have had erectile dysfunction and know that that's not an age thing. And yes, I do have to spend some time talking about that on a live. I didn't want to do it last week because of men's sexual health, because it's deeper than just a 1 minute or 15-second that you do on the TikTok. So I'll spend some time talking about that, like I will talk about menopause for women. And sometimes women can go into menopause at a very early age just because of conditions with your menstrual cycle. So don't think it's just older women that go through menopause. And not only older women have vaginal dryness, you know, because other younger women do too, because of different health concerns. But thank you guys so much. This has been a great live. I definitely appreciate it. Did it for about 38 minutes tonight. I usually take up about 30 minutes of your time. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. I do need your followers. So tell your followers to follow me, and then we can all follow each other. And I definitely need your likes. So like the content, follow the content, share the content, and we'll be back inside the bedroom closet tomorrow, but live next Monday night at 7 p.m. And if it's anything you need me to talk about in between now and then, and I don't think I'm just going out of town. No, I'm not going out of town. I'm going to a paint party this weekend. But anything you need me to talk about between now and then, just drop me a message. Let me know. And I love to specialize the lives based on what it is that you guys want to know. So thank you so much from inside my bedroom closet. Have a good night. Got to put my glasses on to stop the live.